Well, welcome everyone. This is Mairen Torres, the National Secretary for LEXIT USA. And we are so excited tonight because one of our own ambassadors is running for Congress. Welcome everyone, Mayra Flores from Texas. Mayra, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be with y'all. And well, I'm excited to announce that I'm running for Congress in District 34 in South Texas. And we're excited to make history happen here in South Texas.
Well, Mayra, I know that you're being a little bit modest here because you have been boots on the ground in Texas. Can you please tell us, well, with the last administration with Trump, how you helped flip that area, that district of yours?
Yes, well, we did amazing here in South Texas. I'm really proud with the results in 2020. I know we didn't get to flip a district red, but we made history regardless. And here in Hidalgo County with Adrian Peña, we opened a chapter, the Hispanic Outreach, and we were able to reach thousands of people in our community about the Republican Party. We were able to talk to them what we stood for, our conservative values, and how we shared the same values. So we did a lot of education, mainly here in South Texas. That's what we focused on. And we also had a huge momentum with the Trump train as well, which also inspired people to gather. And I mean, thousands of people, thousands of cars every Saturday. That was amazing. And that was thanks to Eva and Rolando, who started that movement here in South Texas. And that also helped so much. So there were just so much components that really helped, make history happen here in South Texas. Monica de la Cruz, of course, as well. She made an impact in District 15. And the president, he did amazing. People were just so excited to go out and vote for him. I clearly remember working the voting stations and people coming towards us and not knowing who else to vote for, but they knew they were there to vote for the president. And that was amazing to see. In District 34, he only lost by 4 points. That is historic. And that is why I have so much faith in District 34. And that I know that it's because of him, I have the opportunity to flip District 34. I really do.
I think that's fantastic. Can you tell us more, what made you make this decision to run for Congress? What's happening in your district that has just compelled you so much to take this courageous step?
Thank you. Well, it really all started since I was a little girl. So I was born in Mexico. I came here to United States when I was 6 years old. I'm an immigrant. So my story really resonates with my community. So many of us here in South Texas have parents that are either from Mexico or were from Mexico as well. So I'm able to communicate a lot with our community and able to educate them on the importance of legal immigration and what's behind illegal immigration, because so many people here in South Texas still have this mindset of, our border still being like back in the 80s and 90s, and things have changed so much. So that's something that I'm focusing on in the community, in educating them of what's going on here in South Texas in their backyard, right? So it really started with that. But another thing that I saw was that most people here in South Texas are conservative by nature. We're not the same conservative that we were, and the same the same Democrats that are in California. No disrespect, or New York, but they're very conservative. They're Republican. I always say South Texas is Republican. They just don't know it, because once I explained to them our platform, they realized that they're Republicans. But the main reason what got me to decide to run really was Biden. Biden getting elected and seeing just the destruction he started right away. As soon as he went into office, I saw the Democrat Party just, I really didn't expect, so many, just the outrage. I really did not expect it. I honestly, yes, I knew it wasn't going to be good, but I didn't see this crisis coming, this Biden border crisis coming. I really did not. And seeing attacking our Second Amendment rights, attacking our speech, it's just, those are the things that just inspired me to, you know what? I really believe that there is no one else that can flip District 34. And I felt it was just a calling that I had to do it, because I don't see nobody else being able to do it in District 34. So I felt that it's what's right, even though, trust me, the medical field, that's what I do on a daily basis. I'm a practitioner. So it's something that, politics is something that I do on the side. It's something that I've been doing for 3 years, but it's not something that I plan, I didn't plan to ever run Congress until recently. I decided, you know what, I don't see nobody else able to do it. And this is very important. This is about the future of my kids. This is the future of South Texas children, everyone in the United States. I don't want this country to become the country I left. I came here for opportunities. I came here for safety. I came here for a better future. And I want that for my kids, and I want that for everyone else as well. And I don't see that happening if the Democrat Party continues to be in charge.
Thank you for that response. It makes all the sense, at least to us, who are having to face this on a daily basis. Now, you're in the south part of Texas. Mm-hmm. I know that your husband, he's a Customs and Border officer, and I know that you've been hearing all of the stories from the Donna facility that's just a stone's throw away from you. Can you please give us more insight? What is happening there at the border, the crisis with the children, the human trafficking? Can you tell us more? What is happening there at the border?
Honestly, I've lived here in South Texas practically all my life, and I've never seen anything like this. I know Biden continues to say this happened before. No, nothing like this. Nothing like this. We have a facility in Donna, Texas, where it's supposed to only hold 250 people. And I know that right now, at this moment, we have over 5,000 people in that facility. And I'm talking about thousands and thousands of people coming in every single day claiming asylum. And maybe some of these cases are legitimate asylum cases, but the majority are not. They're given a court date that is going to happen 3 years from now, that I guarantee you they're more likely not to appear. They're now actually not even given a court date. They're given a phone number to call and get that court date themselves. That's not going to happen. They're not going to call, and they're not going to get that court date, because most of these people do not have a legitimate asylum case. And Biden is telling them, don't come, but if you do, you get to stay. That's pretty much, the message he's saying, don't come, but if you do, we'll allow you to stay. Well, people are going to continue coming every single day, risking their children. Like you said, child trafficking is real. You have thousands of children coming in by themselves with a phone number of a family member. But what gives us the, we're not 100% that the family that we're contacting is actually the family. There's nothing. It's too much for us to be able to verify, DNA on all these children. So we're going, basing it, trusting that it is their family. And we ask the child, but we understand, we know at least I know for a fact that I know these children are being, sex trafficked. I know that it's there. It happened during the Obama administration, and it's going to continue happening right now. So a lot of people don't understand what's behind illegal immigration. And unfortunately, that's what's behind it. Child trafficking, sex trafficking. Women have a 60 to 80% chance of getting raped. You have little girls crossing that have been raped multiple times through their journey. So we can't continue to encourage them to make this horrible journey, dangerous journey, especially children. So the only way this will be stopped is by us sending them back, reuniting them with their real families. So they stop sending them. A few days ago, a smuggler threw a 6-month-old baby in the river. If it wasn't because of our Border Patrol agents and our DPS that went in there and saved his life, this precious baby would have died. And this is, the smugglers don't respect life. They don't care. All they see is money. Money, 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 money. Why? They're charging $3,000, $4,000, $6,000, and much more per person. They're making billions of dollars a day. So they're making more money right now on human smuggling than drugs. That's the reality.
That's unbelievable. And it's such a crisis. I mean, we're all seeing it on the news, feeling helpless. Mm-hmm. And how about COVID? I mean, I really don't think hardly any of them there's not enough in the facility to be able to vet them for COVID. No? What's happening with the healthcare then?
You're absolutely right. There's a lot of cases, COVID-19 positive. They're being taken to a hotel. So a lot of our hotels are at full capacity. They're staying there until they come back negative, but it's an option. They don't have to actually stay in these hotels. They can leave. They can go get a bus ticket. They can fly in an airplane. They're being allowed to do these things, being COVID positive. And that's what is outrageous to me, because the American people were told, hey, you can't open your business, your children cannot get back to school, and yet we're releasing, hundreds of COVID-19 positive cases. In Bronzeville, I know for a fact, not too long ago, 200 were released COVID-19 positive.
Wow. It's such a double standard. The American people are put in lockdown, told to wear masks, told they can't go see their families or even go to their family funerals.
Right.
It's been so outrageous. Businesses have been locked down, shut down, told to separate, 6 feet apart. And yet the same laws do not apply to people flooding our southern border, correct? It's just not fair. It's not fair to the people that live here, that pay taxes, that have righteously taken their time, filled out their documentation to become legal citizens. They've had to get their immunizations and go through all that process, like my own family, because I'm first generation American. My parents, they had to go through all the documentation, get immunizations, wait their turn until they were finally able to come into the country. And yet all of this flood of people without any vetting, Lord knows how many are criminals, just flooding our southern border and our resources. What is happening with the hospitals? I mean, I'm thinking, if they're sick, how about the people, the citizens, your citizens, when they're sick, can they go to the hospital? Are there is there enough space to be able to handle both the constituents and our residents and the illegal immigrants that are coming in? What's happening with the hospitals in your area?
Well, that's what, I thank God that so far, we've been able to handle that at the moment. And that's what, that's something that, I'm grateful for. I'm glad that we're not seeing this spike, but at the same time, they're not staying here. They're leaving. You know what I mean? They're not staying here in South Texas. They're only here for a little bit of time while they get their fingerprints and information, and they leave. They're not staying here for a long time. Now, there is children right? They have been here for a long time. Why? Because we haven't been able to find their family members. They're coming into United States by themselves. They didn't travel by themselves, of course. They traveled with a smuggler, but then left alone once they crossed the child to the United States. A lot of people say, well, there's no way a 7-year-old got here to United States. Well, of course, no. A smuggler brought the child and then, left them on their own once they crossed them here into United States. And they tell them to look for the Border Patrol agents. They describe the Border Patrol agents to them. This is what they look like. And now we even have arrows. There's even arrows directing them where to go, where to find the Border Patrol agents. I mean, it's ridiculous, but that's the truth. There's arrows pointing out to them where to go so they can, they're not hiding from the Border Patrol agents at all. They're looking for them and they know exactly what they look for, so it's really a disgrace what the Biden administration has done to us, to the Border Patrol agents. They really do owe an apology to our Border Patrol agents and the families as well. The stress that they're putting us. I mean, it's too much to handle. Like I said, my husband's been an agent for so many years. I've never seen anything like that. So he tries not to bring work home and he's very private about it, but he doesn't have to tell me to see it. I can see it. Everybody's talking about it. It's all over social media nowadays. And like I said, here in South Texas, I've never seen anything like this. And to be honest with you, I don't see it stopping at all. And he's not wanting to come here to South Texas to see it for himself, because I wish he would come so he could see, this is a real crisis, but he won't. Kamala Harris a few days ago laughed about the question, and I really felt, I don't understand how a border crisis is funny. I really don't understand what's to laugh about. We are going through one of the worst times here in South Texas when it comes to immigration, and you're laughing about it. I've never, like I said, I don't understand how that's okay. Just because they're Democrats, I guess they get a pass, but I don't understand how it's okay for anyone.
It's completely outrageous. The Biden and Harris administration, shame on you. We are not human pawns for you to be playing and toying with. These are human lives. And by you opening up the borders in the way that you just completely made our southern border just completely incapacitated and unsecure, you are allowing for people and babies and women and children and people of all ages to risk their lives. And now the temperatures are going to be rising, where more deaths are going to be happening. Shame on you, Biden. Shame on you. We're going to go ahead and take a short break right now, and we'll be right back.
In addition to bringing back the jobs that have been lost this year, my plan will help create at least 5 million new, good-paying jobs. As experts have looked at it in manufacturing and innovation, create them right here in the United States of America.
On Joe Biden's first day in office, he killed thousands of American jobs. Joe Biden killed hundreds of Wisconsin jobs.
You're talking about 10,000 jobs in the $80,000, $90,000 an hour range that are gone.
All right, folks, Duke Machado here, LEXIT Strike Force. So glad to be with Mayra and Mairen, the two M's, making it happen tonight. So thank you, Mayra, for joining us. Here's the thing that I know, because we've talked. You're in Texas, I'm in Texas. South Texas forever has been dark blue. There's some segments during Trump's election here where they turned purple and some even red, right? So,
right, yeah.
You mentioned that earlier.
That's right.
How do you continue that the energy? How do you continue to draw from what Trump started and pull it towards your election?
you continue with the momentum, you continue talking about it, you don't stop talking about it. So a lot of people, want to take a break, and I'm like, no, this is not the time to take a break.
Yeah, you're right there.
A lot of people tell me, hey, let's take a moment. No, it's not, especially after seeing the results. For me, it's continue talking about it, continue exposing what's happening here in South Texas, what the Democrat Party has done here in South Texas. Well, really, they haven't done anything, right? But
Right. What
we have to continue
the
it,
lies that they
right?
promise. Yeah.
Yeah, we have to continue exposing them and just continue knocking doors. And that's what I do every day. I continue talking to the community. Today, I spoke with a young woman in Bronzeville. She has actually the border wall right behind her. It's actually her fence.
Mm.
And she said that she keeps calling the city because she continues to see illegal immigrants coming in to her property every single day. And she's like, sometimes they knock on the doors, and I'm afraid, and nothing is being done. I continue calling the city, and I was just very interested though, because I said, what do you think about your congressman? And she knew who he was, and she's like, well, I've always voted for him. So she's always voted for Filemon Vela, and she voted for Biden. But I told her, well, if you want something different, if you want a change in your community, will you be willing to cross the party lines? And she said, well, I've never really had, I've never met anyone in the Republican Party. I've never had anyone. I don't know what they look like, and I thought that was, I laughed, and I was like, well, you're looking at, at a Republican, and I'm actually running for Congress. So, she laughed, and this was a conversation in Spanish. And she started laughing, and she's like, no lo puedo creer, de verdad, es broma. I was like, no, no es broma. Yo soy republicana y estoy corriendo para el Congreso. And she was like, wow, she was in shock. And we started talking, and I started laying out what my platform is. And she's like, well, I agree with you 100%. That's who I am. And that's what the Republican Party is. So she just felt she never had the options before. But I was just so glad that at the end, she said, remind me when elections so I can go and vote for you. Yeah. So I got her information, and I thought that was amazing.
That is a good story. One thing that is going to also help, I think, is the incumbent is not running again. So he decided to be done. So
yeah. He couldn't. He felt he couldn't handle it.
that I think that helps you. And one thing we talked about is that, and I know when you made your press release, you dropped it, and it was like boom, social media went crazy, right? You're in your blue dress, and you got, your different photo shoots that you've done and everything, and you could just see the support. I mean, you've got so many people that are following you.
Yes.
I heard you tell a story about someone out of state who called you and follows you on Facebook. Tell us about that a little bit. Tell us kind of like how you're reaching people, even for fundraising purposes.
Yes, I have so much support from all over. I received a top donor from Tennessee, that felt the importance of him supporting me, because he's seeing what the Democrat Party is doing. He's going to become a grandfather real soon. And he's like, I want, my granddaughter or my grandson to have, to grow up in the country I grew up in, and I don't want that to be lost. And I'm seeing it happen in front of my eyes. And he's like, that is the reason why I'm supporting America First candidates. And I was just so humbled because, he's a follower of mine on Facebook who just reached out to me and said, hey, I want to get behind you. And he was my first top donor. So I'll never forget that and his story and the reason why he did it.
That's awesome. So Mayra, you've heard the comments from the liberals about the unaccompanied minors that we're keeping. Some already up to San Antonio. They're talking about sending thousands more to Dallas and all over. But but their phrase is that we have to be respectful, that we have to treat them with respect and dignity. Castro said that. I believe Alejandro Ocasio-Cortez. They're just mimicking this. We can't look at them. We can't take pictures of them. We have to treat them with respect and dignity. But how do you
Mhm.
respond to that?
Well, I agree. Of course, we have to treat these children with dignity and respect. And as far as I know our border patrol agents are doing the best that they can. But encouraging them to do this dangerous journey is not respecting them.
Mm.
It's actually disrespecting those children. How can you encourage them to make this journey knowing that they're going to put themselves in great danger with the cartel, with the smugglers? There's, like I said, little girls are crossing our borders that have been raped multiple times. This is not a lie. This is happening. That is the disrespect. If they really cared about these children, they would send them back to their real families, reunite them with their real families, and tell them not to send these children and put them in this horrible risks. Absolutely not. What they're doing is complete opposite. It's because I care about those children, is that I believe that they're safer at home with their family. We're not 100% that we're actually sending them with their family. We can easily be sending them to a child trafficker. It happened. It happened during the Obama administration. And if someone wants to fact check that, they can. During the Obama administration, many children were handed to child traffickers. That is all over. Of course, it's going to happen now. It's going to continue happening. So I do believe that we need to send these children back to their real families and reunite them. That is the safest, best thing to do for their children, for these children, if we care and want to respect them and treat them with dignity. What they're doing is not respecting them and treating them with dignity. They're using them for their far left agenda they want to push. They're just using these children. They really don't care. And I realized that with them not talking about it, they're not talking about how these kids, are before AOC was crying, that these children were in cages, just making a scene. And it seemed that they actually cared about what these children were going through. And now they're crickets. They're not saying anything. So now I know that it's always been about this far left socialist agenda they want to push.
Yeah, great response. Thank you. Okay, so Governor Abbott launched the Lone Star Initiative. He brought the DPS, he brought the guard down to the border. It was actually DPS officers, wasn't it, who jumped in that river to save that baby. So literally, Governor Abbott's actions are saving lives, and they're protecting
Yes.
the border when the federal government is not. Do you feel that we have the right as a state to do that?
Of course we do, because it's happening in our state. Of course we do. I do believe that we do have the right to do that, and I wish we could do more. I wish we could stop this. I wish we had the right to say, hey, let's stop this. They're crossing into our state, and I wish we were able to have them stay in Mexico just like before, have them stay in Mexico and wait for their asylum court date. But that's not happening. The Biden administration is allowing them to come here into the United States and claim asylum here and then wait for their asylum.
And
court
we're
date.
working with candidates in San Antonio in the mayor's race and city council, and all they're saying is they're coming to San Antonio bus stations. They're unloading at the bus station and just wandering into the city. Nobody knows who these folks are. So it's crazy. It
and
makes
Houston as well.
In Houston as well. It makes you appreciate our Second Amendment, just in case.
Just in case, yes, we have you have to appreciate it and hold it tight now more than ever. And do not, allow no restrictions whatsoever. That's something that I'll never support. I'll never support nothing that will restrict, good law-abiding citizens.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, we're going to go to a quick break. Be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. Visiting with Mayra Flores, congressional candidate for District 34. Be right back.
Me, my religion is just an enormous sense of solace.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by go. You know the thing.
Well, we're back. Thank you so much for meeting with Mayra Flores. She's running for Congress in District 34 in South Texas. Mayra, can you just give us a few words for, say, the Democrat that you are meeting for the first time? What would you say to them that would just convince them to leave the Democratic Party? What values or what core values, what can you possibly say? Hey, why don't you try something new? What would you possibly say to them?
Well, like you said, I always talk about our conservative values, our faith, God, life, pro-life, our family. That's something that reunites us. And I always explain to them that that's who I am. I will always stand for God, for life, and for family. And that right away connects us. And then we start talking about the economy, how I want to improve the economy here in South Texas. And I ask South Texas to put themselves first. We're a very giving community. We always want to help everybody but ourselves. But if we don't start helping ourselves, we're not going to be able to help other people. So we have one of the highest poverty rates here in South Texas, highest unemployment. So we have to help ourselves, and we have to start putting our children's needs first, our family's needs first. We can't pay our neighbors' bills and feed our neighbors' children if we haven't paid our bills first, right? If we haven't fed our children first. So we need to start putting our family first. And I'm asking South Texas to put their communities first. And once they do that, they're going to see the huge difference, and we're going to be able to help other people. But we can't help others until we help ourselves, until we lift ourselves back up.
Thank you for those words. Where and how can our community reach you?
You can connect with me through social media, Mayra Flores for Congress. I also have a website that is up. It's Mayra Flores for Congress as well. Sign up, put your name, your phone number, your email, and we'll contact you back as well. And also, you're more than welcome to message me on Facebook. It does take me a little while, but I will get back to you. Sometimes it can take me, a few weeks, but so much, emails and messages that I get, but eventually I will get back to you.
Thank you so much, Mayra.
Thank
Everyone,
you.
this is Mayra Flores, LEXIT USA South Texas ambassador, who is now running for Congress. We are so very proud of you, Mayra.
Thank you.
We expect only great things for you and for South Texas, and we know that you are a champion of the people. Thank you, everyone, for watching our show tonight. And of course, if you could please support LEXIT USA with your donations. We're just humble servants here trying to spread the word of our conservative values, our core values for our nation. God bless you. This is Mairen Torres with LEXIT USA and with Duke Machado. Have a great night.
Thank you, Lexit.